Burkina Faso just released over 4,000 prisoners, but they didn't set them free. They sent them to the farms, and the reason behind it is shocking. Captain Ibrahim Traoré has banned prisoner sentences in Burkina Faso, releasing over 4,000 prisoners. This week, Traoré visited the first batch of prisoners who were released to farm for the states as payment for their sentence in prison.
I have to admit that I am very happy to come and say hello to you this morning. I believe that you are here to learn and grow, and that's exactly how I see it. You are currently in the process of starting a new life, because being in prison does not mean the end of the world for you, but it is essential that prison must also be humane. We are a society. We are not barbarians. We are not violent. We are an African society. And in Africa, respect for human beings should mean something. It is closely tied, intrinsically linked to us. So, no matter what situation a person finds themselves in, they must be given at least a minimum of respect. It is in this spirit that we introduced, as he mentioned, the TIGs to allow anyone who has a conflict with the law to work for the nation, to receive training, and to come out of there having learned something. Because many things can lead someone to prison, and that's a life. Very often, it can be poverty that leads someone to act in ways that go against their own values. You might just borrow money from someone, but then you're unable to pay it back. They'll summon you, things will escalate, and in the end, you find yourself in prison. That doesn't mean you didn't want to pay it back, but you simply weren't able to. So the laws and other measures that we pass, we are currently fighting to have everything translated into our languages so that you can understand. So, out of ignorance, someone might come into conflict with the law, not know how to act, and end up in situations like this. And so, every situation is a lesson. The life you lead is a lesson for everyone. And when you leave here, no one else can claim to have lived the experience that you have. And we do not want our prisons to be like those of the imperialists. There. We have decided to humanize our prisons. That is why we first started working here with this group, so that you can learn, retrain, and be useful to society. Tomorrow you will be entrepreneurs yourselves, and you will be able to cultivate and benefit everyone. Secondly, we will put all the necessary conditions in place so that if someone, especially in their situation, does not end up like what we used to see before. That is why we have decided to build facilities, healthcare systems, everything that is needed. We will try to improve things so that this becomes a place of learning, so that we can correct ourselves, that we can fix our mistakes when we find ourselves in these situations. And also we are going to reduce the number of prisons in Burkina Faso, that's for sure. We will reduce them significantly and concentrate them in areas like this, production zones where people will learn many things. This is about agriculture, but there are many other things you are learning. It could be in mechanics or many other things. So this is to tell you that there is no reason to lose hope here. You are learning. So learn. And when you leave, the ministry will do everything to support you so that you become model citizens of tomorrow. You can give better advice to someone than anyone else. That's for sure, because the life you are living here, what you have experienced, you can give better advice to young people than anyone else on this earth. So I wish you the best of luck. I hope you take care of your land, of everything around you here, and continue to advise each other. And for everything else that will be added for community service work, may you be able to advise them, and may everyone, above all, learn from you and be inspired, becoming a model in our society. Thank you, good luck. May God keep you all in very good health. And may we meet again, God willing, very soon to say, here is someone who went through Baporo, and here is their business. Okay? Thank you very much. And the homeland or death, the struggle continues no matter where we are.
I told you earlier this month that the Burkinabe government has banned prisons for petty crimes in Burkina Faso. Traoré declared that it is a waste of time and resources to keep people who stole goats or money out of poverty in prison. For decades, we followed a system that did not make sense. If a man stole a goat because his children were hungry, or if two brothers fought in the street and bruised each other, the law would throw them into a small, hot cell. There, they would sit for years, eating the state's food, doing nothing, and becoming more bitter every day. It was a waste of human life, and a waste of national resources. But Captain Ibrahim Traoré has looked at these prison walls and said, no more. Traoré has officially banned the use of prisons for petty crimes in Burkina Faso. He has declared that the state will no longer spend money to keep a goat thief in a cage. Instead of a death sentence of idleness, the government has given these men a life sentence of productivity. Earlier this year, the nation launched thousands of acres of fertile state land, specifically to be run by the prison service. The plan is bold and serious. We are turning our criminals into farmers, and our prisons into training centers. Over 4,000 petty criminals, who were once called outcasts and subhumans, have been released from their cells. They were not just sent home to do nothing. They were handed over to the Ministry of Agriculture and the prison service for 3 months of intense military-style training. They were taught how to handle the soil, how to plant the seeds of sovereignty, and how to use modern machinery to feed a nation. They were told that their hands are too valuable to be folded in a prison cell. They must be used to break the remote control of foreign food dependency. The new justice of the Sahel is about restoration, not just punishment. Traoré realized that many people commit petty crimes because of poverty and a lack of direction. By putting them on the state farms, he is giving them a way to pay their debt to society while also gaining a skill that will feed them for the rest of their lives. They are no longer inmates. They are the frontline workers of food security. While other countries are building more prisons to hide their problems, Burkina Faso is clearing more land to solve its problems. The soil is the new judge, and the harvest is the new verdict. In many countries, a president would never be seen near a common thief or a man who lost a street fight. They think their suits are too expensive to be near the lowly, but Captain Ibrahim Traoré is not a president of the balcony, he is a leader of the soil. This week, by his own personal request, the captain visited the state farms to stand face-to-face with some of the trained prisoners who were once locked away. He didn't come with a whip or a scolding tongue. He came with the heart of a brother and the vision of a father. The atmosphere on the farm was electric. Can you imagine the shock in the eyes of these men? 3 months ago, they were in the darkness of a cell, thinking the world had forgotten them. Today, the commander-in-chief of the armed forces is standing in their midst, shaking their hands and looking into their eyes. Traoré told them clearly, "You are important to this nation." He did not hide the truth. He told them that the law must work and they must serve their sentences, but he promised that as long as he is in charge, they will never be treated as subhumans again. He told them to keep their heads high, because by the sweat of their brows, they are doing something many important people have failed to do. They are feeding the state. This visit was a masterclass in motivation. Traoré knows that a man who feels loved will work harder than a man who is beaten. He assured these 4,000 brothers that the entire nation is with them. He told them that a time is coming when they will no longer be called criminals, but role models for others who have lost their way. By visiting them on the farm, he has turned their shame into service. He has shown them that the state does not want to destroy them. It wants to rebuild them. The thousands of acres they are farming are not just for corn and rice, they are for the harvest of dignity. The remote control of fear has been replaced by the spirit of encouragement. Traoré pledged that he would continue to significantly reduce the number of prisons across the country. He doesn't want warehouses for people. He wants training centers for citizens. He is turning the prison service into an elite agricultural management team. While the imperialists are building private prisons to make a profit from human misery, the Sahel is building state farms to make a profit from human potential. The captain's visit has ignited a fire in the hearts of these men. They are not just working to finish their time. They are working to prove to the captain and the world that an upright man can rise from any fall. The vision is massive and serious. Thousands of acres of land are now being marked across the entire country, from the north to the south, to be farmed exclusively by those serving their sentences. Traoré is not just playing with a few small gardens. He is talking about industrial-scale agriculture. He has turned the prison service into a Department of National Production. By the time the first harvest comes, these 4,000 men, and the thousands who will follow them, will have produced enough corn, rice, and vegetables to flood our markets and drive down the prices for the common man. The petty criminal is no longer a burden on the taxpayer. He has become the provider for the taxpayer. But the revolution goes even deeper than the stomach. Traoré is fulfilling his promise to turn the prisons themselves into national training centers. He is erasing the colonial dark ages from our land. In the future, when a young man makes a mistake and owes money he cannot pay, he will not be sent to a place of rot. He will be sent to a place of growth. He will learn irrigation, he will learn soil science, and he will learn the discipline of the upright man. The prison will no longer be a place you survive. It will be a place you graduate from with a certificate and a new heart. This is the Sahel blueprint for a society that loves its people more than it loves punishment. Look at the message this sends to the rest of the world. While the imperialists are busy talking about rehabilitation in their fancy conferences, the Sahel is practicing it in the mud. Traoré has shown that you don't need $1 million in human rights grants to treat a man with dignity. You just need to give him a hoe, a purpose, and the respect of his leader. The 4,000 brothers who stood on the farm this week are the first soldiers in the war against hunger. They are serving their sentences not with shame, but with service. They are living proof that in the new Sahel, even a mistake can be turned into a victory for the motherland. By turning petty criminals into the heroes of food security, Captain Ibrahim Traoré has saved both the state and the citizen. We have realized that every man has a value, and every acre of land has a purpose. The visit of the captain this week was the seal of approval on a new way of life. The prisons are becoming centers of light and learning, and the soil is becoming the bank of the nation. Long live the Sahel, long live Africa. Continue to watch History and Legacy Africa, and subscribe.